talking about motherhood earlier.
Thank you, Emotional Damage. Lucas, wait, did I just hear the good old feline, who hurt you shaming trope? Oh, this is probably like the most I've ever gotten, the who hurt you? Did it actually come from the reformed drug addict? Oh, okay. Have you any idea how revolting that is? Stop, it doesn't work. You come across as super manipulative, bad faith, instant rejection. Boom. Yes. Thank you, Lucas, for the soup chat. Appreciate the support.
I don't know why I care what your opinion is.
Because look how handsome he is.
Not my type.
He's got a wife. That's not my type.
What's your type? Do you like black guys?
I like black guys.
Did I say it first? Did I say it first?
They're strong enough to handle me.
Oh.
They're strong enough to handle you. What does that mean?
They're not so sensitive like that.
They're not sensitive?
First of all, everybody has baggage. Everybody has baggage. I was just talking about this. The longer you live, the more baggage you have. I have baggage. You have baggage. You have baggage. Our life is a series of things that have happened that have formed the way we view the world.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
It is a fact. Yeah.
So, yeah, I wasn't insulting you when I said that.
Oh.
Like, what? Who hurt you? Who hurt me? People hurt me. People hurt everyone. You know, hurt people. Like, obviously, someone hurt you because you felt the need to try to make me feel bad, which ain't gonna work. But
that's right.
Yeah, everything we go through forms our views, and that's why everybody has different views, because everybody has a different life.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. I love that for you.
It's a fact.
This is going to sound really bad, but like, actually, I shouldn't say it.
Now you have to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Say it. Come on.
Share with the class.
Are you blushing?
He's red. Look at
This is going to sound really bad. Or is it? I don't know.
I don't know. Just say
Do
it.
we have
Just say
tissues?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can look at somebody. Never mind. I'm not going to say this.
I feel like you have to. Come on.
I can't say it.
I feel like we all have
Raise your hand if you want Brian to say it.
I think we all have
Say
thick
it.
enough skin.
We're all here. We're having a conversation
Chat.
together.
Chat.
Wow, you
Chat.
did that.
Should I say it? Should I say it, chat?
He was gonna say he could look at me and tell that I like black guys.
Yeah, that's what you were going to say. I knew that's what you were going to say.
Oh,
But didn't he
Was
already
that
say
it?
that?
He did.
yeah.
But I don't think there's
just
anything
guessed.
wrong with that because it's
what?
just like a stereotype.
Literally,
I mean,
stereotype.
you already had mentioned that you were with a Nigerian man.
Yeah.
And I mean, respectfully, you're like a gorgeous white woman who, I mean, you're wearing cheetah print. You definitely like black guys.
And the more we pay attention to things
I
like that,
I like black people. All my friends are black. Everybody in my life is black.
Are you black?
No, but it's a preference. I don't think I'm black.
Wait, do you
I don't try to be black.
cheetah because cheetahs are in Africa?
No, I don't even.
What? I'm just wondering if there's a correlation.
but I also feel like we shouldn't pay attention to crap like that. Like, who cares what skin color you are?
Yeah.
The more you pay attention, the more people are gonna pay into these divides and feed into it because, like, who cares? Like, really.
Okay, I'll just say it. Or maybe no. Wait, no.
I already said it for you.
It's like you can look at somebody and you can kind of guess if they would date somebody else.
Yeah, sure. No, I know.
Like, okay, this is gonna sound.
Wait, what if
Everybody can tell
What if
that.
you went around the
Outside
table
of
and
their
guessed all of our
pool, they're
types
racial.
then?
Oh well, hold on.
Just to see if you're good at it.
Could and can are not the same.
I'm not
See if the
saying I
chat
can
can
like
guess all
look
the
at
right
somebody
types.
and like know with certainty the type of person they go for, but I do think that there's just like a certain subset of white woman,
I agree.
and you're just like, I think they prefer to date black men,
No, it's 100%.
and I can tell by, I don't even need to speak to them. I'm just like,
Yeah.
she does that.
Wait, can I ask?
Probably like your white
can I ask
chocolate.
you?
She does that?
Do you get disproportionately more attention from black men than white men?
I prefer black men, but I mean, every race has been. Every race.
It's not
has
like
been interested.
it's not
in
an
me.
obvious.
It's not like
Okay.
I only get black men that approach me. No.
But I've tested this out. This one time, wait a minute.
I think you should try to guess.
You can no, but you're right. You can tell. I think a lot of people can look at me and
I feel
Tell
like
that.
for the most part,
they
like,
call me spicy mayo. Like,
Like Chipotle mayo.
You look like an NBA wife. I think that's just what it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel like because for the most part, like generally, you can't make specific statements, blanket statements about everybody. But from my experience, most black men are very dominant, strong, strong type of guys. I'm not saying anything bad about white guys. Don't try to go there. I'm not saying y'all can't be, but.
She's about to say some rich
No,
shit.
not at all. I'm just saying that a strong personality, it would make sense that she's going for that strong type. But again, it's not to say that you can't find that in white people because
Wait,
absolutely.
what?
Sorry, repeat that.
It's not racist.
With an
How
echo?
is it not racist?
I don't know what she said.
Wait, sorry.
Because
Hold on. Wait,
you
just,
can-
wait. Hold on. Can you just repeat what you said?
If you're talking about a white person, people can't be racist to white people.
Okay,
So
so
it-
hold on. Before we have people jump in, does anybody agree with her first?
No.
Oh, you agree.
To a certain degree. Okay, let me say to a certain degree. Systematically speaking, you can't.
Wait, systematically
Well,
you
okay,
can't?
like think about it like this. Yeah, white people. When have white people been oppressed? So up to certain.
The word slave comes from the Slavic people. That's where the word slave comes from.
Yeah.
White people were the first people to be enslaved, and people. There's way more white people that have been enslaved in history than black people, hands down.
Okay, so you're saying like Jewish people, Slavic.
Yeah, anybody who's considered white or lighter skinned, there's been way more white people enslaved than black people ever have
Okay,
been.
well then I would
And-
say. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and when we think about, why were black people enslaved, who sold them to Americans, their own people.
Who still has slavery?
Yes.
Yeah,
Africa still has slavery today.
exactly.
Yeah, they do.
And so
Because technically slavery is not a skin color. It applies to people.
Plus, I want to just clarify something. Is that enslaving people? It doesn't have to be about race. Like you can enslave a bunch of dwarves. It wouldn't be
Yeah.
racist.
Yeah.
black people weren't enslaved because they're black.
So
they were
it ma-
available. I mean,
right.
that sounds horrible,
So it
but
brings up
that's
the
just the
question:
truth.
what is race? What is racism? Isn't it? Someone define it because they keep changing the definition.
It's where
Yeah, I
you
need the
think your
definition.
race is superior to another.
Or inferior.
Yes.
You can like
exactly.
say your own race is inferior.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
So-
if I say, so in your, I'm addressing this question to you. If I say, I hate white people, is that racist?
I think it's prejudice.
If I say, I hate black people, is that racist?
I think it depends on what race you're. I mean, somebody bring up the definition of racism.
Well, it's
What you
thinking
said.
that your race is superior to someone's,
that
or that your
your
race
Yeah, based
is
on
color?
race alone.
Based on
right, or
skin
that
color.
somebody else's race, is superior
Because race is
to
skin
yours
color.
for whatever reason.
That's all it is.
Because prejudice is racism is prejudice against race.
Right.
So I mean, you can say it's prejudice, but it's it's still racism because you're saying well, I hate all black people, or I hate all.
I
white
actually
people
would make even a
because-
further distinction there. I think you could be prejudiced against all sorts of people
You can.
and it not be a fully racist position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we can prejudge based on particulars that we gather to generalities, and you can prejudge for a variety of reasons, and that's actually a form of us navigating the world in a lot of senses. Anyone have kids here? Mm-hmm. I mean, the things they come home and say based in school is
Yeah.
it would be seen as taboo, but yet they're just describing a generality. And so the racism thing has really gotten out of control because the strictest form of racism would just be this assumption that there's superiority or inferiority only based on race, not based on a collection of behaviors even, right? Just race alone, just the distinction race. But because of that, that distinction, that definition has changed so much in the last 100 years. People think that any sort of judgment about any race that's negative is racism, but that's not the case. You can just not like things about people's culture, right? Be I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't prefer that culture. How could that possibly be racist? So when you say white people can't be racist, that's why it was a great question from you. When you say, I don't I hate white people, is that racist? She says, no. If you say, I hate black people, is it racist? You were about to say yes, but you caught yourself and you said, wait a second. There's an inconsistency here.
Yeah,
And I
did
feel-
a whole YouTube video on this, asking people, can black people be racist, or can only white people be racist? And most of them were saying like, yeah, it's because, racism is because you're in a position of power. It's like, no, you can just hate people. Like, people just hated Jews because they're Jewish.
Yeah.
And it was nothing about like,
I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
I feel like it was really interesting when you said like it was prejudice for white people, but then it'd be racist. And I feel like that comes into play because I feel like in this country specifically, because of our history with racism and how horribly black people were treated back in all those times, I feel like in today's age a lot of white people feel guilty about everything that happened, that the guilt kind of comes into play, so you won't accept that you can have racism against white people because it almost feels like you're going against black people, almost like right.
Well, let's have you actually state your position.
I mean, the only reason, white people aren't suppressed like black people are, and different.
I'm suppressed. I'm oppressed.
I
mean, with DEI recently, where like these companies and these schools,
I'm left-handed,
are literally making sure that they bring in a certain amount of black people, a certain amount of Asian people, like people from other countries, and not letting white people in. I mean, we've seen that I know that at Fordham University, which is in New York City, they had a whole issue with that in the past few years, where they were purposely making sure to like give scholarships to a certain number of black students just because they wanted their university to be more diverse. And it's like, you should be judged on how well you do in school to get into a school, especially like Fordham. It's very expensive. It's very prestigious. It's a private school, like not just because you want to make your school more diverse. Like that is racism right there to me. I believe DEI is racist.
Can you give an example of black people in America right now being, would you say, oppressed, suppressed, oppressed?
So, I mean, white people have more advantages.
Like in the law, or just like socially?
In general, socially, economically.
Can you give an example?
Is it that more white families choose to stay together?
No, it's poverty. Look at most of the black neighborhoods. It's poverty. It's the crime.
What causes poverty,
why
though?
is there so much crime in black neighborhoods?
Because they're not given the same advantages white people are given.
No, it's because, like Lily was saying, that these families are not together, and when, your parents don't stay together, you're more likely to get involved in crime. And the reason that these neighborhoods, these black and minority neighborhoods, are more police, it's because, black men are, what are they, like 13% population, maybe even less than that, 6% of the population, something like that, yet they commit over 50% of the murders in this country.
Well, and also
of course they're going to be more policed in those areas where there's more crime.
And I think up to 70% of black children are born without a father in the home as well. Yeah. And we know from our previous discussion that is one of the biggest determining factors for the success of a person and a community, because before the Civil Rights Act and the welfare state was built, the black community was thriving. I mean, the Uncle Tom movies literally talk about how these communities were so great, and they were based around the church, and most families were staying together.
They owned more businesses too.
Yeah. Right, per capita. And so what your position is that we as white people have privileges, but what we're saying is our parents just made different, and I would argue sometimes better, choices.
Like, is it a privilege? Is it a privilege given to someone if they decide to keep their family together, like a father? Is it a privilege that's given to me from someone else if I stay in my family as the father, and another family, they leave? Because that's an action, like she just said. All of the statistics around fatherless homes the correlate is so massive for these kind of instances. Crime, mental illness, drug abuse, there's so many things. And so when you say, well, it's a privilege, well, what if it's the case that your culture and your ideology actually provides the privilege? What if I granted you that white people are privileged, but it's not given by some power? Isn't it possible to generate your own privilege? Can't you generate your own privilege? I mean,
you can. I mean, every situation is different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you delineate the privileges that are a fruit of the ideology and the culture and the practices and the choices from the ones that are sort of granted from this invisible arm of power that's like, you're white I mean, have you been to the South? Like some of these places are super poor. They're not privileged, right? Like what's his name? Theo Vaughn was like, I'm not privileged. I had to share a plum with my black friend, right? We're like, look at this plum we're sharing. It's like this experience of being privileged it's not even predominant everywhere there's white people. It just happens to be particular types of families who have basically establish generational wealth. Yeah. How can you establish generational wealth if the father is gone?
Yeah, and I also think that it's sad to think that a child having two parents is like a privilege, because that's just something that a child deserves. That should just come with, you being a child. It shouldn't be something that's like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky that you have two parents. Like, it's sad that we've come to that. You know, there's so many divided families and separated families that when I see somebody that has two parents, I'm like, oh, they're so lucky. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, white people are more privileged. And like...
How?
Well, in many ways, but you don't have to worry about driving when black. Look at how many black men have been killed by the police for doing absolutely nothing.
Okay.
What situation are you referring to? Sorry.
Well, can you give
George
us
Floyd
a
is
couple?
one.
He was doing absolutely nothing.
Well, not enough to get murdered.
He was high on fentanyl.
So?
That's what killed him.
The autopsy actually says he overdosed, yes.
Yeah. He was screaming, I can't breathe, before they even put him on the ground.
I don't know. I didn't watch the video.
Yeah, and I mean...
That's the whole...
I mean, that's really... You really should, because the reason...
And this is not a dig at you at all, I promise. I feel like that's the biggest problem with everything. People are not willing to do the deep dives and really check their sources of where they're getting the information. Because, like you said, back in the day, before there were programs like welfare and Medicaid and all that other stuff, black people did do better because they had more of a drive to, because there was more of a reason to. When you give, and it's not a dig on black people at all. My father's black and Puerto Rican. My mother's Puerto Rican. Like, I'm mixed. So, but it's just about people. If you're going to always give people an out, then the wrong people are going to take it. And it's not saying that black people are the wrong people. Don't ever take it that way. It can be white, Puerto Rican, Asian, anybody. Because if you go to New York City, you got all kinds of people on government programs that are just willing to pass down their Section 8 or their food stamps to the next family member. And that has absolutely nothing to do with their color, race, religion, whatever. That has not that. It's just about who's really willing to do the work. And in today's day and age, not many people are. And that goes into doing something as small as doing research as to why things are the way they are.
Do you think that women can be sexist towards men?
Yes.
That's for you.
Do I think women can be sexist towards men?
Yeah, like kind of in the same way that you don't think like white people can experience racism, like a black person couldn't be racist.
I don't think white people can necessarily experience racism this day and age because there is more privilege. There's more.
Right. Do you think
more is given to white people?
Yeah. Do you think men are more privileged than women?
Well, if you want to get technical, I mean, they are technically paid more. I mean, right? Across the board, aren't men?
But they also have to go to war and die for us.
Yeah, that's true.
No, the way that the gender pay gap started to exist was they took all the median earnings between all men and all the median earnings between women, and they basically matched them up and said, oh, well, look, there's obviously a difference. But the problem is, if you take the lowest paying jobs, early childhood education, caretaking, nannying, etc. Those are like 98% women dominated. If you take the 5 most lucrative professions, pharmaceutical science, rocket scientists, et cetera, then you find that those are heavily male dominated. So of course, when you factor in personal choices, which feminists never want to do, you get this, what they call the wage gap, and then they blame it on men, taking that away from women, and they blame it on men, the patriarchy, which no feminist can ever define. They blame it on men because it's more comfortable.
Can't even define a woman anymore. So how do you define a patriarchy?
If women were to make so much less than men, then why aren't companies just only employing women so that they can save money?
I don't know. I don't really care.
But I love that you also don't try to act like you know. Like, I love that you're real about it.
I don't know. All I know is that I'm passionate about, like, I don't know everything about history. During Black History Month, I sat down with one of my best friends and she told me a lot of information that I did not know. Was I embarrassed for being white? Absolutely.
How do you know it was true, though?
Wait,
What she
wait,
told
wait.
you?
You shouldn't be embarrassed for being white
Wait,
just
wait,
because
wait.
some white people have done bad things.
I'm
Like
not,
some black,
but it-
but some black people have done horrible things, and it sucks.
Absolutely.
Like with bringing up the George Floyd thing, is that the left screams the names of drug addicts and people who have tried to grape people or who have raped people, and like George Floyd, who held a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach. Like, this was not a good man. They try to make him out like he was a good father, that he was dedicated to his girlfriend or his wife or whatever. He was not. He was a drug addicted piece of crap, basically, that did not deserve to die. I am
Right.
not saying what the policeman did was right or whatever, but that knee on his neck did not kill him. He was dying of fentanyl overdose. But then look what happens. Is that you hear part of a story, you just read the headline, and it blows up. And we made statues of this man. Like, we were marching the streets. These people burnt down cities for like over 100 days.
Yeah, my salon was looted.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
They were literally burning down black-owned businesses.
Oh, I know.
Yet they want to scream Black Lives Matter.
I agree
They
with
want to
that.
scream Black Lives Matter, yet they support an organization, which is just the abortion industrial complex, that kills over 400,000 black babies every single year.
But I'm not just talking about George Floyd. There's many situations, black men and women, that have been killed for no reason other
But
than
hold
being
on.
black.
So, but
But who?
wait, just a question for you though. So you're
I
saying,
mean, all the names
but
that everybody
just curious.
Trayvon Martin?
So
Like, sorry, I'm
let's
interrupting.
Okay, so let's use George Floyd for an example, right? Let's just go ahead and grant that. Sure, let's say it was murder. Like, let's say I don't think it was, but let's say it was, right? What evidence from the video or anything else would actually point that he did it because he was black? So, like, if bad thing happened to black person, does it mean like bad thing happened to black person equals racism, or can bad things happen to anybody and it doesn't, like, bad thing happen to woman, bad thing happen to black person, doesn't mean it's sexism, doesn't mean it's racism?
Yeah.
Right, so I get that George Floyd was black, but what specifically would indicate that it was because he was black that he was murdered?
I'm not saying there is anything to indicate, but some of the other situations where black people have been killed for no reason, they didn't do anything.
Yeah, and that's not okay. I mean, obviously, we can all agree with that. But
that's-
George Floyd he did not die, and he was not arrested because he was black.
No.
Yet they burned down cities and screamed Black Lives Matter and put him at the top of the movement.
I mean, I don't agree with all, that was crazy. Like, the amount of damage that was done over that, I don't agree
But
with.
so question to you then.
Great, yeah.
I was asking you previously, can women be sexist towards men?
Can women be sexist towards men?
Right.
Sure.
Oh, okay. So, how do I want to approach this? Well, it's interesting you bring up the police killings or police brutality, because the rate of, if we do a comparison thing, so you might say, for example, or tell me if this is your position, black people as compared to white people experience more police misconduct, police killings, and police brutality. Would
In
you
my
agree with
opinion,
that?
yes.
Yeah. What if I told you that the difference between black and white people, this is 5 times higher, but the difference between men and women. So men are much more likely to be victims of police misconduct, police killings,
Okay.
police brutality than women are.
Sure.
The rate is far greater than the discrepancy, the difference between black and white. So would you then say that this is evidence of sexism in the police force, systemic sexism in police forces against men?
Guess if you want to frame it like that, sure.
So men are oppressed? I think they definitely are.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
All right, let me read a couple chats here. Let's see. We have Lucas, Chair 2. Perhaps it's true that we all have some level of baggage, but that provides you with license to project your baggage vis-a-vis, good word, Lucas, ad hominem insults onto others. Rest assured, I'm unimpressed with, and then he continues, with your I'm too strong to handle veneer. It's nothing more than the house of cards. Stop with the abrasiveness. Trust me, as a New York City attorney, I can sling it back at you by orders of magnitude. Damn. Okay.
It's personal now.
You want to respond to that?
I'm not fazed by it.
Oh, fazed by what?
By any, I'm not offended. I don't really. I don't really care. You're the one sitting there watching me.
Men should get. I think no, not men.
Nobody can
I
say
want
anything that's going to
reparations.
offend me because I know exactly who I am.
Oh, okay. I think. What do you think about me?
And I'm going to tell you, if you went to a certain, if you were caught doing a certain thing that wasn't necessarily right or illegal. Like, what was that one guy that was marching down the street with a handgun during that thing, and they arrested him? That was a black dude. He would have been shot down.
Oh, Kyle Rittenhouse?
Yeah. He was marching down the street with a gun.
But he looked like a Cub Scout.
Thank you.
He has the right.
I mean, he looks like a boy, a little boy.
have a gun.
It's
on him.
what he looks like.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, look at that little guy.
He was also being chased by two guys who turned out to be pedophiles.
Yeah, and do you believe in the Second Amendment? Like, he should be able to walk around with a gun
Code.
because he needs to protect himself. And if he wouldn't have been able to protect himself, he probably would have been killed that day.
But then he went and killed a bunch of people.
He didn't just go out and kill people. He was protecting
self-defense.
himself.
Yeah.
Self-defense.
Good times.
Okay, so what do you have to say about the Austin Metcalf situation? Have you heard about that? Where Carmelo Anthony, he murdered this white kid. So Carmelo is black, and he murdered this white kid, Austin Metcalf, at a track meet by stabbing him in the heart and killed him because Austin would not get out of his seat.
Okay.
And this Carmelo Anthony, the kid that killed Austin Metcalf, has raised over $500,000 on Give, Send, Go after murdering.
Did you hear
crazy.
his parents also bought a house?
Yeah,
Bought a
there's
real
been
big house?
But guess what? There's been no marching in the street by white people, burning down buildings, screaming White Lives Matter. Like, why aren't we using the same energy as like the George Floyd situation? And think about if it would have been opposite. If a white kid went up to Carmelo and was like, "You need to get out of my seat," and he said no, and he stabbed him to death. Imagine where our country would be at right
totally.
now.
Just like what happened earlier this week when this woman was calling this kid with autism the N-word, and they've raised like $500,000 for her.
Yeah, that's also wrong, but that's not equivalent to murdering someone.
Well,
because
no, but
she just called him a name. Should she have done that? No, but it's not
No.
the same situation. I think it's also stupid that she's raising money, and I've seen the very racist like donation comments, but also in Carmelo's, who actually he murdered someone and he should be in prison because he murdered somebody.
Yeah.
There's comments of people donating saying kill all whites.
No, that's crazy.
Like, it's this racism on both sides, but like,
there's
people
definitely
comparing the situation when she called a kid a word, okay, whatever, that's not okay. You shouldn't you shouldn't call little kids, bad names, but it's not like she stabbed him.
Sure.
Wait, you said there's racism on both sides, so people can be racist against white people?
I feel like they can be prejudiced. I don't feel like black people can be racist when they are the more oppressed.
So is your definition of racism?
Let's pull it up.
Prejudice,
But statistically, they're
prejudice
not.
plus power.
But statistically, they're not more oppressed. I mean, when we think of who kills the most black people,
Black people.
okay, like who leaves, like which families are most broken apart and don't marry, like men don't marry their wives? It's black people.
Yep.
So like I think, I'm brown, my dad is black, like I'm mixed. I would say that it's the fault of our own community. And instead of fixing it, we decide to just go and blame it on white people because it's so easy to do that. It's easy to blame all of your problems and your stupid decisions on other people because you don't have to take responsibility.
So you're half black, half white?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my dad was also not in the mix. Didn't marry my mom. Like, obviously, they had me out of wedlock. So, like, I mean, it was both consensual.
That's actually a good question. If she's half, how do you apply the rule? Can she be half racist?
During this discussion that I had with my friend during Black History Month, because I want to educate myself more, she was saying that if a mixed child if it is raised by the white woman, will be raised more white.
So then they could be
Sorry,
racist.
I have a question. What does it mean to be
I don't think you're
raised
educating
white?
yourself.
But what if the
That
child
is
has
almost
her
a
skin
racist
color? Is it
statement.
the same?
Because what do you mean, like raised white, raised black?
Your beliefs.
White
Everybody-
beliefs.
But how can someone
What
see
are
how
what
you're-
are white beliefs?
You're saying you're not defending your black side at all.
When did I say that?
You're talking about how
I'm just
white
talking
people-
about facts, the statistics and the facts. I'm very grateful to be mixed. That's amazing. But I can tell you, as my experience of being a mixed woman,
Yeah.
who grew up and like, yes, was raised by my mom. Like, I don't, I've always been told I don't sound black, you don't act black, which I think is just like prejudice or racist
That's coming from
statements
a black
because, like, what does that
woman
even
that
mean?
said that. Yeah, I
but I
agree.
can tell you, I have received more racism from the black community than I ever have from the white
Agreed.
community.
Agreed.
Because I don't fit into the black
agreed.
community.
I have a question here. Do you believe in reparations? Should black people be paid reparations? Damn, you're such a racist. What the heck?
No or yes?
Wait,
Can I have
is it-
$5?
And how much does she get?
Should I just get half of what a fully black person should get?
Right. That means I gotta
No,
get some
black
of
people.
that too.
No, you don't want to give them reparations.
For slavery, because my ancestors
for that,
maybe were
then.
enslaved, but I'm not really sure.
Wait, so yes or no?
No, I don't know. I've
Oh.
never thought of it.
Okay.
But didn't
That's a
come up
big
at the
part of the Black Lives Matter movement.
date or whatever you were doing?
Because
Did you go to?
I think you could maybe give her a couple
you could-
bucks.
yeah, you could.
Give her
Like
some
a dollar.
$5?
Help me get back to my
No, you
$5.
where I'm staying.
We should ask the Chinese women
Yeah.
what they think about all this. Are there black people in China?
Her face said it all.
It's a good question. Like, yeah.
Are there black people in China?
Maybe in those big cities.
Big cities. I was gonna say,
big
like,
cities.
Big
yeah.
cities.
I don't think. I mean, maybe this sounds odd. I don't think that's like the first place a black person would choose to go on vacation. Sorry.
I mean, okay. So,
I just want to add one more thing. You said she's not defending her half black persona. There's your split personality now. There's a white you and a black you.
I know.
But just I would say
You're
that's
both.
I would say
You're
it's the opposite. The first step toward loving black people is listing the facts and facing the truth. And then you could actually work on something. But coddling and saying scapegoat, we'll give you more money, blame other, let's figure it out. She's saying, no, let's look at the stats. Let's look at what's going on. Let's look what's causing it. And instead of blaming people, are you willing to fix it? If they say no, if fixing it means doing it yourself, if that's the answer, you can't be helped. I'm sorry.
And
There's
to
no
go
helping.
to take it even a step further, I feel like the whole race argument in itself is a distraction. I feel like it's something that government and the people in control use to pin us against each other because it's easier to do the crappy things they want to do to us if they keep us fighting and against each
Yes.
other. And if
What
you keep
are-
paying attention to that crap, like, do you prefer to
Cheryl.
date white guys? Do you prefer to date black guys?
do
Who
gotta-
cares? I want a good man.
I do
Yeah.
got to move it on a bit, but I want to. The two women from China, can you guys tell us how dating works in China?
How dating works.
How is it well, you guys haven't dated here, but like, how does it work?
I found it interesting because people here just date first and know each other better. Am I right?
Yeah.
For the most
Date
part.
but in China, maybe I have a friend and she is my friend of my friend. And I see, wow, this guy is a little cute and I should test him. Maybe I can be friends with him first and then date.
So no swipe culture? Swipe left, swipe right?
Tinder.
Do you guys use that a lot?
I heard.
No? Interesting.
Because actually someone use that, but we
You don't.
We don't.
Those are for the lower class people.
That's weird. So actually,
You're weird. Why are you so weird?
I'm just wondering, is it a class thing? Like, Because the thing is, like, if your culture is get to know people, you know, maybe there's a class issue there. I think classism is a real thing that you can't deny exists in any culture. Like, so I'm just wondering, is there differences in who uses apps and who doesn't use apps?
Okay, actually, most in my mind, just in my mind, most people like about 17%. They do swipe the date app for sex, you know.
Oh, okay.
Is it true that prostitution is not considered cheating in China? Or is that
that's
Japan?
I think that's Japan.
Does it bleed over though?
Actually, it's not.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, prostitution is not cheating? Or?
I think it doesn't bleed over.
Like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
selling yourself, like a man pays you to have sex with him. Is that a thing?
Is that a thing?
Isn't that what it is?
I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
it's a thing, but if they look down
Actually,
on,
in those countries like Indonesia and Thailand or something, but actually it's not. So it's illegal here.
Oh,
it's
okay.
illegal. It's already illegal, and we couldn't. I know it's we have things like this, but we can see it in the real life. They just how to say that?
hide it.
Like behind us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the shadows.
Okay.